Hey team, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today. Forgive the unconventional format. It's just I've started and restarted this video so many times that I feel like I'm just gonna let it rip, and what comes out is probably what's gonna end up on the final video. There's no big drama with me, in case people are wondering. Like, there's nothing terribly bad happening or anything like that. I just wanted to chat a little bit because I feel like I've made a couple of mistakes over the last couple of weeks. And not only over the last couple of weeks, it's just like the last couple of weeks I've done some mistakes that you have seen, but I've actually feel like I've been doing mistakes about my approach to content creation for quite a few years, and I would like to talk just a little bit about that because, some of you guys will have noticed that earlier today I streamed God of War, and then later today those live streams have been made private. Like last week, I don't know how many people saw. Was it last week? Might have been the week before. I don't know. Time, when you're a content creator, time just kind of like meshes together. It's like Lordran, time flows differently. But, a while ago, I also streamed Asterigos. One of the streams is still there, which is kind of like acts as a first impressions type deal. But my plan was actually like, oh, I should play the entirety of this game. So there was a second stream that I also did, and then I ended up also privating that stream. So this is when you guys are seeing some of the mistakes that I'm doing on the channel. And you might be wondering, what is Rurikhan doing? Why does he keep starting these things and then like stops halfway? Like, what is going on? And fundamentally, what has been happening is like, look, I've always been terrible at managing my time. It is potentially my biggest flaw as a human being. I am terrible at managing my time. Like, you see this mess that's behind me? Like, one of the reasons why I wanted to film this video like this was because, like, hey, look, see this mess? This is like a good representation of what goes on in here. It's a mess. It's a jumbled mess because I'm terrible at organizing myself. And fundamentally, what tends to happen is I'm very ambitious in the projects that I try to create whenever it comes to working on this channel, or whenever it comes to even working on my secondary channel. I'm always thinking like, oh, I should stream this, I should stream that, I should do this, I should do that, I should do all of these things. And I'm always consumed by it. Like, I've talked about this a couple of times on live streams about how, being a content creator, and it's like, I'm not saying this because a lot of people instantly, whenever you talk about stuff like this, are like, oh, you have it so easy, you have it so easy. It's like, you're right, we do have it easy. The thing about content creation, though, is that it doesn't stop. It never stops. Like, because look, I didn't start my professional career as a content creator. I've had plenty of jobs that I've worked before this, more what people would call real jobs. I would call them more traditional jobs, not necessarily 9 to 5, because I did plenty of overtime. I worked in IT. I do have like a degree, and degree is, I don't know. I have some academic, I went to the university for comp sci. I don't know what you would call that, a PhD, whatever. I have one of those for comp sci, so I did do a lot of IT work. I did a bunch of other odd jobs before I actually landed on full-time content creation. And one of the things about the jobs that I had before is that, you work a job, you get home, it's over. The work is over. And that, for some people, they might not understand exactly what I'm talking about. But it's like, the moment you get to your house, you're free from your job, from like a couple of hours. And that is something that is actually pretty good on your mental health, because you're like, oh, I'm just gonna dissociate myself from all this. And when it comes to content creation, and I don't know if it's the same for everybody else, and I'm not complaining. I don't want people to think I'm complaining, because people always think like, oh, again, you guys have it so easy, you're always complaining, blah, blah, blah. It's like, that's not the point. I'm just trying to explain to you one of the things that happens to me, which is whenever I get out of here, where I am right now, this is basically, I'm in a warehouse that my father owns, and this is like a, what do you call it? Like not a cabinet, but like, it's basically like an office space. It's a bit of office space, and this is where I create my videos and do all of my stuff. And so whenever I leave here, right, the work doesn't stop. Like, I get home and sure, I'll spend time with my family, but in my head, I'm always thinking, what am I recording tomorrow? What is coming out tomorrow? What is important that it's going to happen tomorrow? What's going to happen the day after? Like, is there an important event this week? Is there something that I need to live stream? Do I need to set up? Like, your brain is always, it's always boom, 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 boom. What's coming next? What's coming next? What's next? What's next? What's next? What's the next thing that I got to do? What's the next thing that I got to work on? Makes it incredibly hard for you to ever truly unwind or figure stuff out, which is, I feel like, after doing this for 15 years now, this is when I started doing videos, was about 15 years ago, 2007. I was not doing it full time. I was doing it while I was doing other things. But after doing this for 15 years, you know, I've always known that I'm terrible at managing my time. And let's say that 8 years ago, up until 8 years ago, me being terrible at managing my time was not really a problem, because, like, so what? You mismanage your time. You have to make up for it. You have to, like, you know, spend more time working on something. I've never really had a problem, and I don't think I've done a lot of videos like complaining about being overworked throughout these 15 years, and that's not what I'm doing here either. Because fundamentally, I make my own hours. I decide how much I want to work on something. I decide what I want to do, when I want to do it, all of these things. And why do I bring up the number 8 years? Because 8 years ago, I didn't have any kids, right? And not having any kids meant that, you know, I can take all the chances that I want. I can do whatever the hell I want. And, you know, if this thing bombs tomorrow, it's whatever. That's always been kind of like the attitude that I've taken with YouTube, which is why you've seen me take risk after risk after risk after risk, always challenging the algorithm, always pushing things further, always going after things that I'm passionate about every single time. And I can't keep doing that. And it's not even because of like mental or anything like that. No, it's just I can't keep doing that because I need more time for my family. Like, I try to have a balanced thing going, but I feel like I'm failing it. I feel like I'm failing it, and that's not saying that, like, I feel like I'm bad at what I'm doing or anything like that with my family. Like, but I definitely feel like I should be doing more, and my drive to constantly create content is not only preventing me, but sometimes causing me to do some really stupid stuff. And I need to get a handle on that. And I kind of wanted to justify to you guys, that is why you've seen me, you know, fundamentally not follow through with Asterigos. And that's why I'm not going to follow through with God of War as well. And it's like, it has nothing to do with how much fun it is for me. It is terribly fun for me. And I would love to do it, and I would love to risk it all again, as I always keep doing, going against the algorithm, going against the flow, doing things that don't necessarily work out. But I can't keep taking this attitude of like, of playing this content creation game as if I'm all alone, because I'm not. I have a family, and I've talked about this before. And not only that, but I'm also a lot older. Even though mentally speaking, I feel like I'm still 16. Like, I'm no joke. I feel like from a mentality standpoint, I feel like I haven't matured as most people do. Like, I don't know how many people know my actual age. I talk about it on stream openly. It's not like I make it a secret, but for those of you that are not aware, I'm 40 years old. I'm 40 years old. It sounds weird just saying it because, again, in my mind, I just feel like I'm 16. The problem is, even though in my mind I might feel like I'm 16, in my body I'm not. I had a bit of a warning shot, so to speak, last year. You guys might remember that. And that was not a good moment, because I thought I wasn't going to be able to live stream anymore, because I felt really bad. Like, you guys, I don't want to get too in depth with that, because I don't want to bring that back again. But, you know, it was just something that happened that it was kind of like a call to attention. It's like, hey, you're not a kid anymore. You gotta take better care of yourself. Like, this is not right. All of these hours sitting on a chair nonstop is just not good. It's just not healthy. And as much as I want to keep doing more and more, like I said, I was gonna, like, dude, I'm gonna stream the entirety of God of War in preparation from God of War Ragnarok. It's gonna be amazing. It's like, not only that is fundamentally bad for my channel from an algorithmic standpoint, it's also bad for my health, and it also takes a significant amount of time away from my family. So I need to be more careful picking the projects that I devote time to. And some projects, even though I may be extremely passionate about them, are probably going to be like more 1-2 video, maybe 3 or 4 videos, depending on how much I feel like talking about them. But they're going to be more about me just talking about things than necessarily like putting in the required time to do full playthroughs. It's hard. And here's the thing, like as a content creator, I'm always comparing myself to other content creators, even though I know that I shouldn't. And I always tell people, like whenever anybody asks me for advice or anything like that, I always say, you shouldn't compare yourself to anybody else because everybody has their own journey. Everybody's like blah, 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 blah. Anybody that's ever asked me and talk to me privately or even on stream about this type of stuff, I always tell them, like, listen, everybody goes on their own journey and it's different for everyone. But in my mind, I can't stop myself. I'm constantly comparing myself to everybody else that is doing the, similar content to what I'm doing. And I'm always like, man, I should be doing more. I should, and that kind of like pushes me forward to like, I should be doing more. I should be doing more and more and more. And it's like fundamentally like, look, everybody's built different and I just need to be careful because otherwise if I keep doing things the way that I'm doing, eventually I'm just not even going to be here. So yeah, I just wanted to justify to you guys that there's a lot on my mind. And again, this is not like a big drama. I'm taking care of my health. I've even said to people who've been like on some of my streams, I said, hey, I've been dealing with this thing that I have in my stomach, and there's no like big alarm signs. Like apparently most things are fine. I just need to check up on a couple of more things on my health and whatnot, and I have some doctor's appointments lined up, but nothing that I would identify as like, oh crap, these are some serious consequences, right? So nothing of that nature, but definitely, I'm constantly thinking like I need to be doing better, not just for my audience, which is usually what I'm focused on like 99% of the time, but I need to do better for my family. I need to take more time away from what I'm doing to do things for family. And it puts me at a bit of a crossroads because I also feel like if I was in my audience shoes, I'd be like, well, I mean, it kind of sucks. I want more videos from him. So I'm always thinking like, oh, I should be doing more videos. I need to be doing more things. But yeah, I just wanted you guys to know that there is some conflict. There's a mess. Like I said, the cables here kind of represent what's in here. My 16-year-old head I'm a 16-year-old boy trapped in a 40-year-old man's body. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just rambling at this point. Anyways, point is, I'm sorry about the Asterigos thing, and I'm sorry about God of War, and I'm sorry that I can't do more content. I want to, but I just need to be more careful about how I spend my time, because otherwise I'm going to be one of those people that's going to get to 60 and then look behind me and be like, oh wow, look at all this content that I did, and look at all this time that I didn't spend with my family, And I don't want to get to 60 and be filled with regret, is what I'm saying. So I'm sorry, and if you're mad about me not being able to do these projects, I think that's understandable. And again, I apologize, but yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, whenever I come up with some interesting video that I want to do, I'll do it and I'll put it on the channel. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I'm not even taking a break. I'm just like, I feel like I should justify what is going on with me, just like suddenly starting to unlist streams and stuff like that, because I don't usually tend to do that. But yeah, thank you all very much for your support. You guys are amazing. I really cannot emphasize enough how much I love everything that I'm doing. I'm incredibly passionate about creating content. It's just maybe I'm a little bit too passionate about it, and I need to look at other things that are also important in life. But yeah, thank you for listening to me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong, stay safe, peace out.